I think it is a beautiful family depiction, and that the human experience is universal. You get to the universal through the specific, but the more specific you are, the more universal it can become. So people who don't look like you can still see your family and be like, that's my family.
People want to love you, Monk. You should let them love all of you.
Good. First off, I have a message my wife said to tell you hello, and she absolutely loves you. I would have gotten in trouble if I didn't relay the message.
Tell her that I love her back and that the love is appreciated.
Thank you. So let's talk about like what first initially attracted you to this role. Was it the cast? Was it the script? Like what kind of left out at you that first kind of enticed you about this project?
The script first and foremost was brilliant. It was funny. It was heartfelt. It offered a different representation of the Black experience that made me excited to be a part of it, right? That's number one. Number two is the specific character, which is sort of different than what people tend to associate with me. And I love to sort of give folks a little bit of something different. Number three was probably getting the chance to get in the sandbox and play with Jeffery Wright, whose artistry I have been enamored with for an incredibly long time.
Now you talked about just this role being something completely different for you. Yeah. You're playing a Black gay man. There's still some stigma around that in the Black community. Like, how is your preparation for this role different than maybe other roles that you've had in your career?
I think with each character, you sort of say, what are the points of commonality? What do I share with this character? And then where do I have to engage my imagination? Like that's where the work is in terms of like what I have to think about that I haven't actually experienced for myself. So point of commonality is that I'm the youngest brother. I'm used to sort of like teasing people and getting away with it because I have a certain level of charm that my older brother and sister do not. And if they see this interview, like they'll know for sure that I'm telling the truth. And then also sort of being a bit of a black sheep, being the artist in my family, sort of creates a level of space to where like Sterling is weird, right? They love me, but it's like, he's on that weird, he all Hollywood now, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was able to sort of like weave that into, not being fully accepted by my family, but on a larger scale because Cliff is gay, right? Now, I also do have family members who are gay, who had to, from one level or another, have been in the closet until they were able to finally express their full truth, or maybe not even presenting their full truth right now. But I had a very sort of profound sense of like happiness is not something that is attainable until authenticity is the order of the day, right? So that was the approach. But I think it's not too dissimilar to any other character. You find where you connect and you find where you have to engage your imagination.
And lastly, I feel like this story is resonating with people beyond the Black community. Like, when the People's Choice Awards at TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, what do you feel it is about this story that resonates with people even outside of the Black community?
I think there's two things. I think it is a beautiful family depiction, and that the human experience is universal. You get to the universal through the specific, but the more specific you are, the more universal it can become. So people who don't look like you can still see your family and be like, that's my family, right? I also think the other part is that there is an intentional sort of lightness to the skewering of the Hollywood machine in terms of the stories that they are willing to tell about Black people over and over again, to the exclusion of other stories, right? It's not that these stories are not a part of our experience, but they're not the totality of our experience. And so I really do think that the satire is making people think that like, oh my goodness, I did not even realize on one level or another that I was complicit in terms of like, how the Hollywood machine has been working because I've only supported certain stories with my dollar, right? And so hopefully with fiction, you get a chance to cast a new vote with your buck and come out and see a different kind of story with Black people front and center.
Well, very well said. And thank you so much for your time and all the best with the movie.
Appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you very much, brother.